Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. The Sandbox. Play. Create. Own. Govern. Earn. Welcome to the Metaverse. The Sandbox team is building a unique virtual world where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming experiences using Sand, the main utility token of the platform. Sand holders will be also able to participate in governance of the platform via a decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, where they can exercise voting rights on key decisions of the Sandbox ecosystem. As a player, you can create digital assets, non-fungible tokens, aka NFTs, upload them to the marketplace, and drag and drop them to create game experiences with the Sandbox game maker. The Sandbox has secured over 50 partnerships including Atari, CryptoKitties, and Shaun the Sheep to build a fun, creative, play-to-earn gaming platform owned and made by players. The Sandbox aims to bring blockchain into mainstream gaming, attracting both crypto and non-crypto game enthusiasts by offering the advantages of true ownership, digital scarcity, monetization capabilities, and interoperability. Disclaimer: the information in this white paper is subject to change or update and should not be construed as a commitment, promise, or guarantee by the Sandbox or any other individual or organization mentioned in this white paper relating to the future availability of services related to the use of the tokens or to their future performance or value. The document does not constitute an offer or solicitation to sell shares or securities. It does not constitute or form part of and should not be construed as any offer for sale or subscription of or any invitation to buy or subscribe for any securities, not should it or any part of it form the basis of or be relied upon in any connection with any contract or commitment whatsoever. The Sandbox expressly disclaims any and all responsibility for any direct or consequential loss or damage of any kind whatsoever arising directly or indirectly from reliance on any information contained in the white paper, any error, omission or inaccuracy in any such information or any action resulting therefrom. This is not a recommendation to buy or financial advice, it is strictly informational. Do not trade or invest in any tokens, companies or entities based solely upon this information. Any investment involves substantial risks, including, but not limited to, pricing volatility, inadequate liquidity, and the potential complete loss of principal. Investors should conduct independent due diligence, with assistance from professional financial, legal and tax experts, on topics discussed in this document and develop a standalone judgment of the relevant markets prior to making any investment decision. We have prepared all information herein from sources we believe to be accurate and reliable. However, such information is presented as is, without warranty of any kind, whether expressed or implied. All market prices, data and other information are not warranted as to completeness or accuracy, are based upon selected public market data, reflect prevailing conditions, and our view as of this date, all of which are accordingly subject to change without notice. The graphs, charts and other visual aids are provided for informational purposes only. None of these graphs, charts or visual aids can and of themselves be used to make investment decisions. No representation is made that these will assist any person in making investment decisions, and no graph, chart or other visual aid can capture all factors and variables required in making such decisions. The information contained in this document may include, or incorporate by reference, forward-looking statements, which would include any statements that are not statements of historical fact. No representations or warranties are made as to the accuracy of such forward-looking statements. Any projections, forecasts and estimates contained in this document are necessarily speculative in nature and are based upon certain assumptions. These forward-looking statements may turn out to be wrong and can be affected by inaccurate assumptions or by known or unknown risks, uncertainties and other factors, most of which are beyond control. It can be expected that some or all of such forward-looking assumptions will not materialize or will vary significantly from actual results. The White Paper. 1. Executive Summary. The Sandbox is a virtual world where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming experiences in the Ethereum blockchain using Sand, the platform's utility token. Our vision is to offer a deeply immersive metaverse in which players will create virtual worlds and games collaboratively and without central authority. We are aiming to disrupt the existing game makers like Minecraft and Roblox by providing creators true ownership of their creations as non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and rewarding their participation with our utility token, SAND. In the current game market, the centralized ownership and control of user-generated content limits creator rights and ownership. Central control over the trading of virtual goods created by players restricts them from generating fair value for their creations. Compounding this, it can be difficult to prove creative ownership of works, especially as content is copied, altered, and built upon. With the Sandbox, we aim to overcome these limitations while accelerating blockchain adoption to grow the blockchain gaming market. We will do this by building a voxel gaming platform where creators are able to craft, play, share, collect, and trade without central control, enjoying secure copyright ownership with the ability to earn cryptocurrency, SAND. This copyright ownership will be established and guaranteed through the use of NFTs, where every in-game item will have a unique and immutable blockchain identifier. 1.1 A user-generated content ecosystem. The Sandbox gaming ecosystem consists of 3 integrated products that together provide a comprehensive experience for user-generated content, UGC, content production. A. Voxedit. This simple-to-use yet powerful free 3D voxel modeling package allows users to create and animate 3D objects such as people, animals, foliage, and tools, and export them into the Sandbox marketplace to become game assets. B. Marketplace. The Sandbox's web-based marketplace allows users to upload, publish, and sell their creations, assets, made in Voxedit, as tokens, both ERC 721 and ERC 1155 tokens. C. Game Maker. Anyone who owns assets, either by making them in Voxedit or purchasing them, can utilize them with the third and most important ecosystem product, the Game Maker and the game itself. This product, when launched in Game Maker mode, enables users to place and use their assets within a piece of land, an ERC 721 token, that they can own in the virtual world. Users can decorate their land with assets, and more importantly, implement interesting and nuanced gameplay mechanics by assigning predefined behaviors to the assets through visual scripting nodes, turning a land from a decoration experience into a potential full game experience. 1.2 Blockchain gaming with NFTs. The Sandbox virtual world uses blockchain technology and NFTs to empower the players and creators. NFTs are an emerging segment in the global game market, virtual tokens for digital scarcity, security, and authenticity. Each NFT is distinct or unique, it is indivisible, and it is not interchangeable for another. Through the use of NFTs, the Sandbox users will be able to benefit from a. True digital ownership. Gamers are the true and perpetual owners of their digital items, even if the game was shut down or abandoned. With blockchain, every game item can be tokenized, allowing gamers to decide how they want to trade, sell, or gift their items. D. Security and immutability. Digital game items can be easily tokenized and traded in primary and secondary markets that are managed and facilitated by blockchain technology. Items based on scarcity and demand usually invite fraud and theft, but these risks are minimized on blockchain because it is a distributed ledger. E. Trading. Blockchain-based gaming platforms can provide users with ultimate control over their digital assets. They can buy and sell items freely without concern that they will be ripped off or that a platform will close and cancel all the value of their in-game items. F. Cross-application interoperability. Blockchain provides capacity for games to utilize shared assets. Assets, avatars, lands, and any other game elements can be used in other games that allow it. These game items are no longer confined by a narrow digital ecosystem. The Sandbox Metaverse uses several tokens to create a circular economy between all the profiles of users who will interact with its platform, namely the players, creators, curators, and landowners. These are the lands, assets, and sand, a token based on the ERC20 protocol, which will act as the official currency in the ecosystem when purchasing goods and services within the game marketplace, amongst other rights. 1.3 What is sand and what is it used for? Sand is an essential part of the Sandbox platform, and the Sandbox are working on establishing key mechanics that makes it intrinsically tied to the Sandbox platform and its value. Sand is an ERC-20 utility token built on the Ethereum blockchain that serves as the basis for transactions within the Sandbox and has the following uses. Access the Sandbox platform. Players spend sand in order to play games, buy equipment, or customize their avatar character, and can potentially collect sand through gameplay. Creators spend sand to acquire assets, lands, and through staking. Land sales drive demand for sand to purchase lands. Artists spend sand to upload assets to the marketplace and buy gems for defining rarity and scarcity. Governance. Sand is a governance token that allows holders to participate in governance decisions of the platform using a DAO structure. They can exercise voting rights on key elements such as foundation grant attributions to content and game creators and feature prioritization on the platform roadmap. Sand owners can vote themselves or delegate voting rights to other players of their choice. Staking. Sand allows for staking, which allows for passive revenues on lands. You get more sand by staking it. This is also the only way to get valuable gems and catalysts needed for asset creation. Fee capture model equals 5% of all transaction volume carried out in sand tokens. Transaction fees shall be allocated with 50% to the staking pool as rewards for token holders that stake sand tokens and 50% to the foundation. Foundation. The role of the foundation is to support the ecosystem of the Sandbox, offering grants to incentivize high-quality content and game production on the platform. To date, the foundation has funded over 15 game projects and granted 100 artists to produce NFTs ahead of the public launch in December 2020. The overall valuation of the Metaverse grows through the valuation of all games funded by the foundation, creating a virtuous circle to enable funding bigger games. 1.4 What do we plan next? We have a strong product roadmap ahead and a top team to execute a strong vision to build a unique virtual world gaming platform where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming experiences and spread the power of blockchain as the lead technology in the gaming industry. All these together with what we have achieved so far resulted in TSB being awarded a recognition as the most expected blockchain game in 2020. In the short term, we are launching the 4th land presale and game maker. This will be complemented with the Sand public launch. As such, we expect to have Sand available for individuals and corporations. In order to increase liquidity and availability of it with the main purpose to collaborate with the community. Growth and ecosystem flow. In relation to the proposed Sand offering, the community of creators and players will need to get access to Sand. We plan to make it accessible to the community through multiple ways with controllable supply mechanisms, such as purchasing Sand from multiple exchanges. As the community increases in terms of the number of creators, players, and assets exchanged in the marketplace, there might be an increased need for Sand within the ecosystem. Therefore, while the total supply of Sand is fixed, the initial amount of Sand offered will provide a scarcity effect, reducing the Sand available per capita and therefore fostering demand. 1.5 Associated challenges and risks. It is the responsibility of any purchaser of Sand to inform themselves of, and to observe and comply with, all applicable laws and regulations of any relevant jurisdiction. Prospective purchasers for any Sand shall be expected to consider the risk factors identified in this section. If any of the indicated risks were to materialize, then they could have a negative impact on the issuer's finances and operational performance, which can hinder the ability of the issuer to fulfill its obligations under this white paper. The challenges and risks are identified by the Board of Administration of the issuer as at the date of registration of this white paper. This does not exclude the possibility of there being other risk threats, and the purchaser must be aware that the impact on the issuer may be heightened due to a combination of several risks materializing simultaneously. One of the main challenges in the project is the rate of adoption of the community of artists and creators to start exchanging assets, which will be a key point behind the demand generation of Sand. As such, we are focused in developing a strong, multi-platform product that can spread massively by offering a tool to create voxel art that is focused on solving problems and community needs. We are therefore developing strong communities in different areas of the world with a strong focus in Asia, where we believe the rate of adoption and learning curve will be steeper. The project's success rate will be dependent upon the priority and preference of consumers and its ability to swiftly anticipate, identify and capitalize upon these priorities and preferences. The issuer operates in an emerging and disruptive industry that is under rapid and dynamic development. This includes, but is not limited to, the development relating to the business itself, the underlying technology, and the regulatory and legal implications thereof. Specifically, in relation to public knowledge and understanding of emerging technologies, such distributed ledger technologies, smart contracts and other innovative technology arrangements, are still limited as at the date of registration of this white paper. The risks arising out of such may not be fully comprehended as of yet, and new additional risks may arise in the future. As the issuer's undertaking is reliant on the continuous and proper functioning of its technology infrastructure, the issuer is subject to a variety of risks relating to the proper maintenance thereof. These risks include, but are not limited to, cyber attacks, data theft or other unauthorized use of data, and other malicious interferences. Certain parts of the infrastructure may be outsourced to third parties. In such cases, the issuer is reliant upon technology arrangements developed by such third parties for the running of its undertaking, and it is exposed to the risk of failures in such technology arrangements. The issuer is subject to various laws, including regulations and rules issued thereunder, and is at risk in relation to changes in the laws and the timing and effects of changes in the respective legislation. This includes changes in the interpretation thereof which cannot be predicted by the issuer. The growth of the issuer and its undertaking is partially attributable to the efforts and abilities of the members of its management team and other key personnel, particularly its board of administration. If one or more of the members of this team were unable or unwilling to continue in their present position, the issuer might not be able to replace them within a short time, which could in turn have a material adverse effect on the issuer's business. 2. Historical background. The Sandbox is the latest version of the Sandbox franchise, which has helped create the sandbox world creation games genre on iOS and Android smartphones since its launch in 2012. 40 million players have downloaded the Sandbox franchise. The latest iteration, the Sandbox Evolution, has over 1,200,000 mouse, with up to 2,600,000 at peak. 70 million worlds have been created, and over 100,000 worlds are created every day. The new blockchain-based version of the Sandbox has already received several awards. Voted the most anticipated blockchain game of 2019-2020 by blockchaingamer.biz, link. Ranked number 13 in the top 50 blockchain games companies of 2020 report by dapiradar.com, link. The Sandbox combines the large, active and enthusiastic franchise audience with a richer gaming environment based on a new 3D voxel engine, and the revolutionary ability of blockchain integration with NFTs to offer players creative and financial control of the content they make. 3. The Sandbox Platform. 3.1 Mission. The Sandbox team's mission is to build a system where creators will be able to craft, play, share, and trade without central control, enjoying secure copyright ownership with the ability to earn sand. The Sandbox team believes these innovations are important, for while the current market for voxel-based creation games already has 500 million creators and 160 million mouse, it suffers from 4 key problems that could hinder future growth if not addressed: the centralization of user-generated content in dominant titles such as Minecraft and Roblox limits creator rights and ownership. Central control over the trading of virtual goods created by players restricts players from generating fair value for their creations, limiting what they can or cannot sell and or taking a significant portion of the sales revenue. Given the nature of voxel art, it can be difficult to prove creative ownership of works, especially as content is copied, altered and built upon, and existing game marketplaces are based on fiat currencies, which do not support true microtransactions and are vulnerable to credit card fraud that can unbalance in-game economies. 3.2 Game Overview. At its core, the Sandbox is an ecosystem for players and creators, consisting of three main components: a voxel editor, named VoxEdit, a marketplace, and the game itself. The Sandbox offers a unique way to create, assemble, and share 3D voxel models. We empower creators with intuitive, powerful content creation tools. You can make your own 3D voxel objects, animate them, and sell them in our worldwide marketplace. VoxEdit is our 3D tool that allows anyone to create or import their own voxel objects, work on them, and effortlessly export them to the marketplace where users can turn them into limited ERC 1155 tokens called assets. Assets are virtual tokens for digital scarcity, security, and authenticity. They are unique, limited, as well as distinct and indivisible. Blockchain allows creators to have true ownership, and thanks to this technology we, in our capacity as developers, can finally reward players for their time and the hard work they put into content creation, allowing them to monetize and freely trade their assets. Our asset smart contract allows content to become the new platform, creating a new paradigm. This is because they offer multiple uses and are not confined to a single game. This second-layer programmability gives any developer the power to bring a lasting and ever-growing value to the assets, which can be shared cross-games, cross-platforms, and cross-chains. The marketplace is the trading environment for assets, where they can be given away for free or sold to other players. The game is the overall game system where playable experiences can be enjoyed and shared. In the game, not only can creators profit from their creations, players can play to earn by collecting resources, rewards, and tokens. 3.3 Land and the Lands Map. Lands are blockchain-backed virtual tokens, using the ERC 721 standard for NFTs, representing physical parcels of the Sandbox Metaverse. They allow players to own a portion of the Metaverse and thus be able to host content, assets, and games. The Sandbox Metaverse is based on a map of 166,464 lands, 408*408. Lands are physical spaces in the Metaverse owned by players to create and monetize games. Lands are used to publish your game and can be rented to game creators. Every land comes with a set of pre-built terrains, but it can be terraformed and modified by the user who owns it, or other players they invite to work on it. In the future, players will be able to combine lands together to form estates. In the future, estates will have the potential to be owned by multiple players to form districts. 3.4 Avatar. An avatar is an in-game voxel representation of a player, which may be modified piece by the owner. An avatar has certain specifications and format and comes with a default set of animations such as walking, running, jumping, and fighting. Specifically, this avatar will be modifiable piece by piece, helmet, arms, torso, legs, etc., by equipping it with different compatible asset tokens. 3.5 Sand. Sand is an essential part of the Sandbox platform, and we are working on establishing key mechanics that makes it intrinsically tied to the Sandbox platform and its value. Sand is an ERC-20 utility token built on the Ethereum blockchain that serves as the basis for transactions within the Sandbox and has the following uses. Access the Sandbox platform. Players spend sand in order to play games, buy equipment, or customize their avatar character. Creators spend sand to acquire assets, lands, and through staking. Land sales drive demand for sand to purchase lands. Artists spend sand to upload assets to the marketplace and buy gems for defining rarity and scarcity. Governance. Sand is a governance token that allows holders to participate in governance decisions of the platform using a DAO structure. They can exercise voting rights on key elements such as foundation grant attributions to content and game creators and feature prioritization on the platform roadmap. Sand owners can vote themselves or delegate voting rights to other players of their choice. Staking. Sand allows for staking, which allows for passive revenues on lands. You get more sand by staking it. This is also the only way to get valuable gems and catalysts needed for asset creation. Fee capture model equals 5% of all transaction volume carried out in sand tokens. Transaction fees shall be allocated with 50% to the staking pool as rewards for token holders that stake sand tokens and 50% to the foundation. The role of the foundation is to support the ecosystem of the Sandbox, offering grants to incentivize high-quality content and game production on the platform. To date, the foundation has funded over 15 game projects and granted 100 artists to produce NFTs ahead of the public launch in December 2020. The overall valuation of the metaverse grows through the valuation of all games funded by the foundation, creating a virtuous circle to enable funding bigger games. 3.6 Sand Stakeholders. We have developed a 4 stakeholders approach to ensure that the success of TSB accrues value towards the token. Therefore, we will set through smart contracts that revenues generated through the sandbox will be distributed across 4 stakeholders to provide support to the ecosystems of creators and players, as well as to provide the resources needed to grow the market and develop high-quality gaming experiences. These 4 stakeholders are: 1. Foundation Pool is designed to ensure that revenue generated through the game accrues value to the token. The token allocation of this foundation pool will be progressively decentralized as we implement a DAO community-driven solution towards a decentralized model for the benefit of the token ecosystem. 2. Staking Pool is designed to provide a yield and value to token holders. Its governance will migrate from a centralized decision on year 1 towards a DAO mechanism in the coming years. Token holders that are also active players will generate an extra yield rewarding their activity. 3. Company Treasury. This represents the sand that is owned by the company that comes from the proceeds of sales of company-owned assets with a 12 months lockup. The sand generated through this treasury will be sold back to the market to pay operational expenses. 4. Company Reserve. This is the initial company reserve of 600 mm sand, 20% of total token supply. This reserve will be fed with the proceeds of sales of company-owned assets with a 6-month lockup. 3.7 Sand Revenue Streams. TSB has 5 revenue streams where creators will exchange sand. That sand will be allocated as detailed below. 1. Land sales. 50% locked for 12 months, then being sold in auction sales, and proceeds go to the company's treasury. 2. Company NFT sales. 25% transferred to the company reserve with a lockup period of 6 months. 3. Player subscriptions and services. 25% transferred to the foundation to support the growth of the token ecosystem. 4. Transaction fees equals 5% any sand TRX. Transaction fees to be restructured as 5% of all transaction volume carried out in sand tokens, including but not limited to sand transactions related to sales and rental transactions of land, from TSB to players and from players to players in marketplace, NFT transactions, from TSB to players and players to players in marketplace, peer-to-peer in-game payments, example, entrance fees for game experiences, player subscription fees and advertising fees. 50% allocated to the staking pool as rewards for token holders that stake sand tokens. 50% of all transaction fees shall be allocated to the foundation. 5. Advertising revenue. 25% allocated to the staking pool as rewards for token holders. 75% allocated to the foundation. 3.8 Benefits. The creation of a decentralized blockchain-based gaming platform provides multiple benefits when compared to current, non-blockchain systems, as illustrated in the chart below. With blockchain, the sandbox. True ownership. Assets stored in player wallets through tokenization of UGC. User retention of copyright in perpetuity. Ownership not tied to a game, and creative authorship is immutable. Without blockchain, Roblox and Minecraft. Limited ownership. Assets stored in game systems. Copyright limited and items can be modified by third parties. Ownership is tied to the game, and creative authorship is hard to prove. With blockchain, the sandbox. Secure. Less fraud possibility thanks to blockchain's record-keeping technology. Without blockchain, Roblox and Minecraft. Insecure. Server-based transactions, and high possibility of fraud, 13% average. With blockchain, the sandbox. Fair revenue share. Creators will receive 100% of the selling price they set for their creations, and multiple creators can automatically share payments and revenue. Without blockchain, Roblox and Minecraft. Limited revenue share. Creators receive partial payment for items they sell, and ownership limited to one player entity. With blockchain, the sandbox. Decentralized trading. Blockchain allows assets to be shared between users for collaboration and peer-to-peer trading. Without blockchain, Roblox and Minecraft. Centralized trading. Centralized system limits collaboration, and all trades are controlled by third parties. 4. Market overview. The current gaming market presents favorable conditions that offer the sandbox a unique opportunity to exploit on both PC and Mac and mobile platforms, as the opportunity to shift power and earning potential into the hands of players in the growing UGC gaming market will add significant value to their gameplay experience. The global gaming market is expected to reach $171.96 billion by 2025. The mobile segment, which is one of the sandbox's target platforms, is projected to gain momentum and exhibit a compounded annual growth rate (CAGR) of 7.3% over the coming years, owing to increasing smartphone penetration across the globe. The online segment is estimated to witness substantial growth over the next 8 years, expanding at a CAGR of 8.6% from 2020 to 2025. This can be attributed to increasing broadband penetration and growing online betting, gambling, and social network gaming, and the Asia-Pacific market is expected to gain traction, attaining a market size of $86.84 billion by 2025. Emerging countries such as China, India, and South Korea are offering lucrative growth opportunities for market augmentation, which can be partly attributed to growing smartphone and internet penetration in these countries. 4.1 Gaming Creator Market. The Sandbox team's mission is to build a system where creators will be able to craft, play, share, and trade without central control, enjoying secure copyright ownership with the ability to earn sand. The genre of creator games with voxel graphics is dominated by two key industry players, Minecraft and Roblox. Minecraft, the leader in the category, saw player numbers grow over 30% year-on-year for the last 5 years, while Roblox placed 6th in the list of top-grossing iPhone mobile gaming apps in the United States as of January 2018, ranked by daily revenue. Roblox is estimated to take in over $750,000 per day in revenue. Some creators have reportedly earned over $30 million in 2017 from the 70% revenue share they receive from sales inside their own creations. Both games are now available on a variety of platforms including PC, mobile, and console. A few numbers show the scope of the market in tangible terms. Minecraft. Over 100 million MAU in 2019, up 74 million from 2017. Over 144 million copies sold worldwide. In 2014, Microsoft purchased the Minecraft franchise for $2.5 billion, and the purchase price equates to roughly $17 per copy sold when averaged across all units. Roblox had 100 million MAU in 2020. Raised $150 million Series G on a $5 billion valuation in February 2020. 11 million game titles were published in the Roblox world in 2017. Over 1,500 titles have each generated over 1 million user visits from other players, and Meep City, which was published in Roblox in February 2016, was the first Roblox game to surpass 1 billion player visits. The Sandbox Evolution had 1,200,000 mouse in 2018, and over 70 million creations made inside the game by its users. CryptoKitties. Over $12 million raised from asset sales. More than 1 million kitties created. Has approximately 500 daily active users, and various special themed kitties from partnerships, including the NBA platforms. Sketchfab, one of the largest 3D creators marketplace, has approximately 400 to 1,000 models uploaded per day. 100,000 3D models have been uploaded in over 700 days, and TurboSquid, the world's source for professional 3D models, has over 500,000 models and 3,500,000 users. 4.2 Creator Market. A primary challenge facing voxel art creators in the current gaming environment is they have limited or no legal rights to the intellectual property they create. This can result in artists or creators spending days or even months creating their in-game worlds while receiving little or no financial benefit. Another hurdle facing players is establishing creative ownership of their works, especially if another player or entity copies the original work, modifies it, or builds on it. Without a system for identifying and tracking the ownership of an item from first creation, it's almost impossible to tell if work is original or copied. Lastly, the common reliance on fiat currencies and credit card transactions means the element of credit card fraud is never far away. Currently, the ratio of illegitimate transactions in games can be as high as 1 out of every 7.5 items sold as the result of credit card fraud, potentially disrupting the entire in-game economy. By registering every asset created as an NFT, the Sandbox allows creators true ownership of everything they create. Creators retain copyright and ownership of everything they create and can sell and trade items while receiving all the benefits for their work. As transactions are made via blockchain in Ethereum, credit card fraud is eliminated. Aside from addressing all of these issues, the Sandbox aims to bring even more value to the crafted items of creators. For the first time ever, creators will be able to see how their uploaded assets come to life when they see them used in a land as part of great experiences. 4.3 Player Market. Issues such as ownership or compensation are of less concern to players who primarily come to games to play and buy items rather than create and sell them. However, another issue directly affects these players is that they spend real-world money to buy items in-game, but they have no way to recover this money. For instance, if they stop playing a game, all the items they bought in it immediately become worthless. If the game is shut down for any reason, such as a decline in popularity that makes it less profitable, all the players' in-game purchases vanish into nothing. This is especially true in free-to-play, F2P, games. Purchases are a one-way street. Players spend money to buy things in the game, but have no way to recover their value if they no longer use an item, and have no way to sell it to another player legally, so they receive no compensation if the game is taken off the market. 4.4 Market Solution. The game's player-centric innovations and improvements over current titles in the market make it probable that the Sandbox can expand its audience beyond the 40 million players who have downloaded previous versions of the Sandbox and the game's current 1,200,000 mouse. The first stage of this process is the creation of a semi-decentralized gaming community with some elements under the central control of the Sandbox and other elements decentralized to the creators and players themselves. 5. Roadmap. The Sandbox has been operating since 2012, and it follows that this issue of Sand is one of the next steps in its journey towards creating this decentralized game. 5.1 Previous milestones. May 2012. The Sandbox franchise launches on iOS. February 2013. The Sandbox is released for Android, first title. March 2014. The Sandbox surpasses 10 million downloads. March 2015. The Sandbox Evolution is announced at GDC Conference, second title. June 2016. The Sandbox Evolution released on iOS, Android and Steam. July 2017. The Sandbox Evolution receives 2 big partnerships. Bandai Namco brings Pac-Man to the game. DreamWorks brings Shrek to the game, and the Sandbox Evolution announced free download in Steam. April 2018. The Sandbox surpasses 40 million downloads and 70 million player creations, and the Sandbox surpasses 750,000 followers on Facebook. 2019. Funding. We have closed a seed round with a total of $3,410,000 raised. Team. We have assembled the right senior team to execute our vision. 42 resources located in our 3 offices with 28 FTE in Argentina, 11 in France, 2 in Korea and 1 in Japan. First revenue. The first 2 rounds of lands pre-sale, 2.5% then 5% of the total map supply, sold out in almost 1 hour. Exciting success despite the bearish crypto market in December 19th then February 2020. Total revenue generated of 1,400 ETH, approximately $300,000. Community, growing with over 10,000 members on our Discord. Our NFT maker VoxEdit has been downloaded overall 65,000 times and the 100 artists forming part of our Creators Fund have made 3,000 assets already. Over 3,500 accounts on our marketplace. Smart contracts. All our smart contracts is available publicly on GitHub and has been audited by Certic, a leader in security trusted by Binance, Upbit, Bithumb, etc. We scored 93/100, among the highest in the industry. Korea presence, growing over 1,000 highly engaged creators and members. Officialized our partnership with SBS Seoul Game Academy, reaching out to 2,000 students on 8 campuses in Korea. Japan presence, started collaboration with Kpis, a Japanese crypto marketing agency, who is also representing Dappy.com, ran several meetups, DevCon 5 blockchain game meetup and Tokyo blockchain games meetup, and began localizing our deck, website and Medium articles. Open Twitter with 600 followers and reaching 50,000 impressions per month. Q1 2020. VoxEdit, launch of VoxEdit beta release. LAN pre-sales, launch rounds 2 and round 3, selling 5% and 10% of the map in hours. Q2 2020. Game Maker closed alpha, private release of the Game Maker alpha to few early testers. Land Moon sale, 6 rounds of land sales over 5 weeks. Q3 2020. Game Maker public beta, public release of the Game Maker beta. Land pre-sales, round 4 opening. Marketplace, Sand purchases, P2P sales, asset minting with gems and catalysts. Sand public listing, Binance IEO and listing on public exchanges 5.2. Future milestones. Q4 2020. Game public beta launch of the games platform, with dozens of games available to play, supported by the Foundation. Events, launch of the first season event with play-to-earn mechanisms. Multiplayer, socialize, chat and interact with friends in the Sandbox hubs. LAN public sale, regular LAN sales and support for Game Maker. VoxEdit, official release 1.0. 2021 to 2023. We are aiming to become one of the leading established key players in the space of virtual worlds with blockchain-based digital lands, reaching over 1 million mouse over the next 5 years. To achieve this, we will be working on VoxEdit. We will be working directly with communities of artists to add the extra features they are asking for and facilitate the creation of more advanced models, while keeping in mind to remain accessible to all. Marketplace, we will be working on engaging features that will be driving long-term engagement and interactions with the Sandbox platform, allowing creators to work and collaborate together in teams, establishing more advanced collaborative workflows, as well as features enabling any creator to run its own pre-sale for games, organize its own contest with prize pools, define rules of each DAOs with its subcommunity and more. Game Maker a player, we will be releasing the game player on multiple platforms, starting with mobile, iOS and Android, in 2021 and expanding to console thereafter. We will improve the meta gameplay to create comeback design and providing incentives for players to explore and participate in the economic loop, create, trade, play, fostering the play to earn, monetize your skill and time by collecting resources, rewards, and tokens, as pillars of the economy. Players will have individual goals and objectives for the meta gameplay, but we will also include collective objectives to create communities and competition. The Sandbox lands can work as common hubs for players, provide different experiences, advertise and shops, chat rooms, and other featured experiences. Blockchain and tokens, we will be opening even more our blockchain technology to other developers, marketplace, smart contracts, etc., so they can build additional services, dApps on top of our API and smart contracts. A more detailed roadmap can be found below. 2021. Partnerships, new IPs and premium NFTs to be announced. Foundation, launch of the Foundation DAO with Sand staking for voting on creators fund management. Game Maker, official release 1.0 and major updates with more gaming packages, behaviors and visual scripting. Game, official release 1.0 and major updates. LAN public sale, regular LAN sales will continue. Events, additional seasons with big rewards to earn. Multi-platforms, availability of game on smartphones and tablets devices. Multiplayer, first user-generated games with multiplayer modes. Sand, staking mechanisms for yield generation and curation. 2022. Partnerships, new IPs and premium NFTs to be announced. Games platform, over 1,000 games available. Multi-platforms, availability of game on consoles. LAN public sale, regular LAN sales will continue. Game Maker, co-building mode, creating games with friends, custom scripting with programming third layer and major updates with more gaming packages and behaviors. Events, additional seasons with big rewards to earn. 2023. Games platform, over 5,000 games available. Partnerships, new IPs and premium NFTs to be announced. Game Maker, major updates with more gaming packages and behaviors added. Events, additional seasons with big rewards to earn. DAO, the Sandbox DAO will allow to participate in major decisions on the game platform 5.3. Major features in the press. Our CEO, Arthur Madrid, published a Medium article titled Blockchain Metaverse, where players can build, own, and control a platonic republic of gaming, which has been clapped over 500 times. Our COO, Sebastian Borgit, was quoted repeatedly on Cointelegraph among 50 crypto experts on his perspectives for 2020 and looked back on 2019 articles. The Sandbox ranked 13th among the top 50 blockchain games companies of 2020 report by DappRadar, while Animoca Brands is ranking 5th. This confirms our leadership position in the space. The Sandbox raises $2 million more to build out blockchain-based game world from B Cryptos, True Global Ventures, Square Enix and more. The Sandbox virtual world sold out third virtual lands pre-sale generating 3,330 ETH, 440,000 USD. 6. Platform. 6.1 Gameplay experience. The gaming experience on the new The Sandbox platform will be launched through several intermediary phases, with increasingly more complex features in each. When the alpha version is launched, players will be able to make transactions and store their digital voxel assets while also playing and interacting with other voxel asset creators and players in different user-generated worlds. The gaming experience will make the Sandbox a strong blockchain-based alternative to existing platforms such as Minecraft and Roblox. Even for players who do not create discrete items to sell on the UGC store, the combination of creativity and security can pay off for players who create lands with compelling attractions. This is because a land might have different revenue streams implemented on it, like microtransactions. Additionally, players can play to earn by collecting rewards through gameplay. We expect a wide variety of audiences to enjoy gaming experiences in the Sandbox marketplace. We have identified some of the types of games creators will be able to craft for them. Social experiences. The asset marketplace will allow creators to fully decorate their spaces with beautiful sceneries and structures such as a fairy wonderland, a medieval town, or even a futuristic space station. These types of experiences can attract communities of in-game friends that hang out for activities that combine social and gameplay elements. Build and craft. Our voxel map is ideal for creators to make building and crafting experiences. Creators will be able to facilitate players with interesting experiences like building competitions, creating their own play spaces. All these tools and mechanics will be able to interact with the terrain to modify it, build over it, or even completely destroy it. Exploration and adventure. Solve the mystery of the cursed swamp, slay the mercenary king of the endless desert, help the rebellion of the exiled prince of the elder lands, or even discover all the hidden secrets of the ancient temple. Creators will be able to bring narrative, exploration and adventure gameplay to their land. Each new land will be different, offering new potential to discover new lands, meet new people and discover never-before-seen secrets. 6.2 Map, Lands. The persistent map determines a player's specific land coordinate. In most blockchain games where player domains are sold like real estate, the specific location of a domain is of paramount importance as it will determine who and what you are next to. Similarly, in the sandbox there is a finite amount of lands, and their location is determined initially in the map, and cannot be moved from one coordinate of the world map to the other. There are several advantages to this structure. Players have the agency to combine lands to create a bigger gaming space with and near their friends, and friends can cooperate in the creation of these larger experiences by building experiences together within the combined land and thus sharing the rewards, whether financial or purely social or artistic. There is also an economic incentive for players to work together via a combined land. For instance, if several players band together, they can create a theme park experience, with each member focusing on a key attraction, or members can focus on distinct neighborhoods that together create a city experience. In each case, the team effort allows players to cooperatively create a stronger incentive for players to visit and enjoy their creations, and more visits results in more revenue to be shared. It's true that a single player with one land can keep all the revenue from that land, but a larger, more diverse collection of lands combined can boost financial rewards to be shared by charging, for example, for a super pass that allows a player to visit all the gaming experiences in a combined land, with the revenue from the super pass shared between all the owners of said land. There will be limits on joining lands together to keep certain conglomerations from having too much control and power against solo players. Recent information has been released on the Sandbox transportation system. 6.3 Assets Marketplace. The marketplace will use smart contracts to control item auctions and transactions. This open marketplace for creators and developers will allow for the free trade of in-game assets between the platform users. Additional benefits of this marketplace are that economic principles of supply and demand become automatically integrated into the system, allowing the community to determine the fair price of user-generated assets. The true strength of this marketplace, however, is that creators of such assets can finally generate true tangible real-world value from the voxel content they create. The asset tokens in our marketplace will require several pieces of information in order to properly be displayed as a sellable good. These pieces of info are name and genre, in order to better identify the asset being sold, and to help potential buyers in finding it in the marketplace. The asset will require a name and a genre. Description. The description will help creators add specifications like size, model, potential uses, or even attach a short piece of fictional lore to the asset. Thumbnail. The marketplace will show what the asset itself looks like via several thumbnails of the asset. We will include a feature in our voxel editor that will automatically generate these thumbnails for the creators. Price. The creator will have total control over the price the asset will have on the marketplace. This price will be set in sand. Value. Creators will define rarity, scarcity, and attributes thanks to the gems and catalyst system. Once all these requirements are met, the asset will be successfully displayed on the marketplace and be available for purchase. 6.4 VoxEdit. Under the philosophy of create, animate, play, VoxEdit is the voxel modeling software that allows the artist to rig models and animate them using a user-friendly keyframe interpolation timeline. Modeling. Having other software that also lets you model your own voxel art. What makes the modeling in VoxEdit different is that it is aimed at artists. That commodity is thanks to a user-friendly interface, powerful tools to let the artists model anything they want, but also stay connected with them all the time to hear their feedback, what would be nice to have, and especially what would make their life using VoxEdit much easier. Animation. Here is where VoxEdit stands out. VoxEdit uses a skeletal system with hierarchies, like the ones used in professional 3D software like Maya, 3D Max, Cinema 4D, etc., allowing the artist to rig anything they want and be ready for animation. It is the only voxel modeling software that allows to model and animate your assets. Once the skeleton is made, the artist can create any type of animation moving the different parts of their model with an easy-to-use timeline. The timeline works like a video editing software timeline, using layers to represent what part of the model you are moving and creating keyframes to set the position, rotation, and scale. The magic happens thanks to the interpolation of these keyframes that the timeline does in the background. Exporting. VoxEdit allows the artist to export their creation in .vxm and .vxr, formats that our marketplace and games use to create a super smooth communication between the three parts. Besides that, it also lets export in the standard formats such as .obj and also .dae and .gltf for the models with animations on it. 7. Economy. We are excited by the opportunity to build new kinds of business models with this player-powered economy, both in terms of revenue model and token model. Sand will provide immediate liquidity to players and investors. The valuation of the Sand token is calculated on what players will be able to build, play, trade, win inside our metaverse. We are aiming at replicating real-world economy systems, with players able to buy, rent, hire, vote, stake, etc. The main flows of income will be the following. Company assets token, sales of assets created and developed by the company, lands, assets, attributes, others, transaction fees, TSB to charges 5% of all transaction volume carried out in Sand tokens, transaction fees, to be allocated 50% to the staking pool as rewards for token holders that stake Sand tokens and 50% to the foundation player subscription fees. Revenues that we will generate via various subscription models to gain access to exclusive in-game features, premium assets, etc. 7.1 Tokenomics. Sand is the utility token used throughout the Sandbox ecosystem as the basis of transactions and interactions. It is an ERC-20 utility token built on the Ethereum blockchain. It will be used across the ecosystem by gamers, developers, and publishers, allowing creators and players to exchange assets and games and build a user-based platform of rewards while developing an ecosystem where creators and players will share various truly unique gaming experiences. User-generated digital assets are represented as ERC-1155 tokens. To ensure the everlasting scarcity and verifiable scarcity of non-fungible items, we use the ERC-1155 token standard. This standard allows a smart contract to track token ownership at the individual token level. Each item has a unique identifier and, optionally, unique property stored as metadata. Sand can be used and acquired by artists, creators, players and landowners through multiple ways as described below. Players will be able to earn Sand tokens while playing the different games uploaded to the Sandbox ecosystem. They might win Sand by slaying a legendary monster, opening a chest, or even completing a quest. Nearly endless possibilities can be created in games. Skill-based challenge. Players will be able to pay an entry fee to enter a challenge such as a race, a card game, a battle royal, or any other type of competitive contest. The winner takes all of the prize pool. The experience creator might take a % of the total pool for creating and hosting the experience, and tip system. A player who also happens to be a streamer might be tipped with small amounts of Sand based on his performance, either for entertaining his audience or by being good at whichever game he or she is playing. Creators, asset sales revenue. Creators will be able to sell their assets in the marketplace, receiving 100% of the Sand price of the asset. In-game purchases. Experience creators will be able to set up many different monetization systems that will let them charge players Sand for exclusive content. These monetization techniques range from item purchases to stat boosters, subscriptions, or even entry fees to the game itself. Creators Fund. At the first stages of the ecosystem, we will have a rewards program to incentivize creators to fill the marketplace with amazing voxel creations and in return be rewarded with a generous sum of Sand tokens. Art challenges. We intend to keep a community-centered focus towards the marketplace, and with that in mind we decided that we will hold art challenges in which creators will be able to upload one of their assets for the possibility to win a prize pool of Sand tokens if their asset received the most votes from the community, and crowd-funded requests. We shall enable a section of the marketplace that allows individuals and groups of users to request a certain type of asset in exchange for a payment of Sand, contributed by all the requesters. The flow of Sand within the ecosystem could be represented as follows. 7.2 Project financing and initial revenue. During the period May 2019 to November 2019, the company completed a successful private placement round with 13 investors for an aggregate amount of $3,410,000. The private placement round was done through equity and token sale agreements. The token distribution and the Sand acquired by each investor during the private place took place in 2019 and resulted in the total sale of 515,277,777 Sand, which is equivalent to 17.18% of the token allocation through token sale. Sand allocated to investors through the private sale, founders, TEM and advisors are 100% locked with 5 years vesting and 12-month cliff. TSB has also generated its first land pre-sale successfully during December 2019 and July 2020. All land assigned for sale have been sold for over 6,000 ETH. TSB is aiming to raise around $3 million during the public sale, through the allocation of 12% of the Total supply of sand. There shall not be a soft cap, and therefore there will be no refunds made of funds contributed towards the project and allocated as detailed below. Investors for sand include, but are not limited to, traditional venture capital, cryptocurrency investors, gaming companies, gamers, game developers. 7.4 Other dynamics. As the community increases in terms of the number of creators, players, and assets in the marketplace, there will be an increase in the need for a utility token to reward the growing number of stakeholders participating in the platform. Growth model and KPIs. The key success factors for building the ecosystem consist of ensuring an organic community growth of creators and players invested in the value proposition offered by the sandbox while ensuring customer satisfaction. In order to ensure a progressive growth of the community and its model, we have identified key variables that will be measured and incentivized through marketing, promotional, and communication tactics to ensure the growth of the ecosystem. O creators growth rate. O players growth rate. O new assets created and uploaded per creator. O new assets created and uploaded by TSB. O assets sold per month created by creators. O assets sold per month created by TSB. O inflation rate of assets in the marketplace. O average price per asset developed by creators in sand. O average price per asset developed by TSB in sand. O asset price growth. O initial supply of sand. O initial supply of sand in the hands of creators and players. O price of sand in USD or ETH. O percent commission at the marketplace. Therefore, while the total supply of sand is fixed, the initial amount of sand offered to the ecosystem through creators and players will be limited to add a scarcity effect due to the following key factors. A growing number of creators and players, which eventually will reduce the sand available per capita, and O staking effect, increasing the time holding sand. 8. Technology. Blockchain technology is used to record ownership of tokens and allow owners to transfer, sell, use them without restriction. IPFS is used to store the actual digital asset and ensure the asset cannot be changed without owner permission. 3 different blockchain protocols will be integrated into the Sandbox gaming stack. ERC-20 for sand and ERC-1155 and ERC-721 for the digital asset storage and trading. 8.1 Future technology integrations. Why are we using Ethereum? We found many benefits to do so as detailed below. Ease of use. Ethereum has been built with flexibility in mind, which perfectly fits our use case with asset tokens. Ethereum also has the largest number of developers, which allows for well-established standards, best practices and support. Robustness. It is, as of today, among the most robust blockchain protocols. Its wide adoption makes the network validated by many and thus more secure. And interoperability. Ethereum is a protocol, a base layer on top of which all applications can build and interact with each other. The main issue faced by Ethereum today is often said to be its scaling issue. Blockchains are based on 3 pillars: security, decentralization, and scalability, throughput. Historically, Ethereum always put security and decentralization first, at the cost of scalability, and some technological improvements need to be made at the base layer to support traffic at scale. On most public blockchains like Ethereum, this is one of the main current concerns, and lots of efforts are in progress to solve those scaling issues without sacrificing the blockchain trilemma. Ethereum is a blockchain that has been proven by thousands of dApps and developers for its robustness and offering a large ecosystem, resources and support from developers. With the current system we are building, escrow-less auctions, meta transaction, subscriptions, and SAI, we can offer a great experience on Ethereum for non-crypto users. The Sandbox team is looking at Layer 2 solutions that use the main Ethereum chain as an anchor for security. At the moment they are not yet ready for implementation or have not reached a production stage so that we could reliably integrate them. We will closely follow technical progresses on this topic and decide to integrate the solution that combines the best advantages for our product, use case and users. 8.2 Multiple Class Fungible Token, MCFT. At the Sandbox, we spend a lot of time looking at how to preserve security and integrity for assets on the blockchain while still allowing the speed and flexibility that players and creators demand. As with many aspects of game design, you can't get everything you want easily, so it's a matter of balancing elements to implement the best solution. The ERC 1155 standard that we co-created with other game companies in the blockchain space was designed to support the management of millions of tokens. On top of that, our asset contract is also ERC 721 compliant and allows multiple unique items to be created by a single smart contract, with the benefit of keeping the ERC 721 interface to allow interoperability with other marketplaces and games in the sandbox. Users will have full control over their assets by being able to create them, but also having the possibility to buy, sell, and trade those same assets in the sandbox marketplace using our Sand token currency. 8.2.1 Interoperability. As we use Ethereum as the substrate of our ERC 1155 ERC 721 implementation, any platform wallet that supports ERC 1155 ERC 721 will be able to inspect and use our asset. This means independent developers could rely on the plethora of assets our players will be creating. The sandbox gaming environment will be divided into 5 types of tokens. Sand, our game currency used across the system. Lands, worlds in which players play that are created by the community. Assets, voxel models created by players and traded in the marketplace. Gems burnt to give attributes to assets. They are ERC20 tokens. Catalysts burnt to mint assets. Depending on their power, they allow users to associate a certain number of gems to an asset. They are ERC20 tokens. Token contracts are responsible for keeping track of creator, the address that minted the token, ownership, transfers, emitting events when the state changes. 8.2.2 Meta transactions. The sandbox is aiming to bring non-crypto users to the blockchain world. In order to achieve that, we believe that the system should be transparent to the user as much as possible. Meta transactions allow users that own Sand to interact with our platform without the need to own or know what ETH is, or for that matter any of the tokens that will be used. 8.3 Technology Solution Breakdown. The Sandbox Platform architecture is composed of several components. In terms of blockchain integration, we have a traditionally backend running on the cloud, currently using AWS, to support our web frontend. An S3 bucket is used to store the asset of the artist before they get minted. While we currently guarantee the privacy of the artist work to protect their work from being copied prior to minting, we envision later a system that would prevent even us to peek at the artist work pre-minting. Once a new GC asset is minted, our backend releases the asset on IPFS so that it becomes public. Our smart contract records the hash of an asset so that the owner of the asset will always be able to prove ownership of not only the number recorded on the blockchain, which many projects in the blockchain gaming space stop there, but also the voxel model itself as well as the various render. Here is an overview of the overall architecture with all components represented. Creators can create their assets with VoxEdit and upload those assets through the browser. MetaMask is a Web3 provider which acts as an intermediary between the user and the blockchain. A browser in which the user will interact with the smart contracts and our server. The smart contracts running on the blockchain. Our server currently hosted on AWS. The backend is being developed with Node.js, which manages the creation of an asset on S3, generating a hash ID for that asset, which is sent back to the frontend so it can begin the transaction with the smart contract. Finally, once the transaction is confirmed, we release the asset on the IPDS network, ensuring that future owner will always be able to prove that what graphical representation they hold is indeed the original one. IPFS 17, the Interplanetary File System, is a peer-to-peer distributed file system that seeks to connect all computing devices with the same system of files. 8.4 Program Agents. The Sandbox Platform architecture includes a server on our AWS infrastructure that is monitoring the blockchain and registering change of state. Changes are then propagated by our API into our backend, and our centralized database is updating its records so that the frontend can pull the recent changes and display them accordingly to the players and users of the Sandbox platforms. These changes of states include transfer of ownerships from the tokens, lands, assets, or sand. Additionally, the following are the various situations that will trigger external data inputs to our smart contracts. The The data received in inputs is always sanitized, and several security layers are implemented to make sure these are protected. Our smart contracts have been duly audited. Land sale setup. We submit the land configuration to each new sale contract at the time of deployment. Land sale. The buyer submits their land of choice inclusive of the payment, following which the contract mints the land in exchange. We provide a 2D map to allow the buyer to easily choose their land. Land sale stable price oracle. We do not have any oracle system that sends information to our smart contract. Instead, we utilize MakerDAO medianizer, which receives updates from the oracle and makes a median estimation of the price of the dollar link. Asset sale setup. The creator submits a 3D voxel model to our backend. We hash the result and submit that on the smart contract, that in turn mints a token to represent it. The creator submits a signature specifying the selling price and our backend shall store it. Asset sale. The buyer submits a payment for a particular token to the smart contract along with the seller signature. It receives the token in exchange. 8.5 Game Engine. We have developed a custom voxel engine on top of Unity engine. Our engine leverages the power of the new Unity data-oriented tech stack, aka DOTS, by making extensive use of the Entity Component System, ECS, and the Jobs system. By using Unity's new Universal Render Pipeline, URP, we are able to support mobile platforms in the future without sacrificing the render quality of our game for desktop platforms. Our engine also implements support for our custom voxel models, rigging and animation formats, VXM, VXR, VXA, from our in-house voxel editor, VoxEdit. 8.6 Wallets. We minimize the security risk on our backend by reducing the responsibility of hot wallets that are only used for referral and whitelisting. The other wallets are cold storage wallets that hold responsibility for updating the platform with new contracts and new parameters. These could later be part of a governance mechanism. For these cold wallets, we use a 2 out of 3 multi-signature wallet, link, and all of the owners of those multi-signatures are 3 hardware wallets. This wallet has the possibility to upgrade our SAN token, as well as the ability to extend functionality via super operators. In relation to the methods of payment, if the user wishes to pay with an ERC20-based token, ETH or DAI, it will then be processed by a smart contract on-chain and the user shall receive the SAN directly into his wallet, or BTC, credit card or fiat payment, it will then be processed by a third-party service merchant solution, whereby upon confirmation by the latter, the SAN shall be released. 8.7 Security. The Sandbox marketplace is relying on the security of Ethereum for the functioning of its smart contracts. The only wallet that can affect the logic of our smart contract is our multi-signature wallet, which uses the Gnosis multi-SIG wallet backed with 3 hardware wallets. On our backend side, we manage a database that caches the smart contract events to keep track of ownership. Our backend also stores temporary assets. On that side, its responsibility is thus minimal. As for fiat payment hot wallet, we are designing a daily auto refill to ensure that only a minimum amount of token is present, minimizing the consequence of a breach. 9. The team. We have assembled the right senior team to execute our vision, 42 resources located in our 3 offices with 28 full-time employees in Argentina, 11 in France, 2 in Korea and 1 in Japan. 9.1 Core Team. Arthur Madrid, CEO and Director of the Sandbox. Arthur Madrid is the co-founder and CEO of Pixel, acquired by Animoca Brands in 2018, as well as the Sandbox, 40M Players. Board member of Animoca Brands and a long-time social gaming entrepreneur. He sold 2 software companies, Wixie Incorporated and One Click Media, and is an advisor for startups in gaming, social media and software. Arthur began his career building a P2P delivery platform for media companies, one of the first distributed computing software, DCIA, platforms. Now, he is focusing on blockchain gaming as CEO and co-founder of the Sandbox. Sebastian Borgit, COO and Director of the Sandbox. Sebastian Borgit is the co-founder and COO of Pixel, acquired by Animoca Brands in 2018, as well as the Sandbox, 40M players. Passionate for blockchain technology, gaming and education, he is a very active speaker and evangelist on the opportunity non-fungible tokens brings to gaming. He is now building the Metaverse with the Sandbox, one of the 2019's most anticipated and top-ranked blockchain games, number 13 in the top 50, that is empowering players through NFTs, enabling them to own, buy, sell and trade their 3D creations on their marketplace and use them in their game maker. Sebastian also became president of the Blockchain Game Alliance in 2020. Marcelo Centurio, CFO of the Sandbox. Marcelo Centurio is the co-founder of the first online payment company in LATAM and has plus 20 years experience in finance, tech, and gaming. MBA from the London Business School with focus on finance and execute program at MIT in entrepreneurship. Pablo Iglesias, inventor of the Sandbox game. Pablo Iglesias has over 10 years of experience in researching and developing emergent procedural systems while leading teams of professionals through several successful games. Lucas Shrewsbury, CTO of the Sandbox, ex-CTO of Gameloft. Lucas Shrewsbury has spent more than a decade leading mobile gaming studios. While at Gameloft Argentina, he managed the studio and a team of 200 people. 9.2 Advisors. Hashed. Based in South Korea and San Francisco, Hashed has realized meaningful gains in the crypto industry. Led by serial entrepreneurs and engineers, Hashed has expedited global blockchain adoption through strategic investment and community building. Mikhail Nayem. Nayem is Chief Business Officer at Axiom Zen and CryptoKitties, the world's most successful game built on blockchain technology and Axiom Zen's first public blockchain project. Mick focuses on directing business strategy, growing partnerships, and evolving the company platform. Yatsu. Co-founder and CEO at Animoca Brands. He is a serial entrepreneur and angel investor. He is the CEO and founder of Outblaze, sold B2B business to IBM in 2009, and he has received recognition for his role as an entrepreneur focused on internet and technology companies. Alexis Bont. Group COO of Stillfront Group, co-founder and board member of eRepublic Labs. He is a co-founder and angel investor with a strong general management background and over 20 years 360 degrees experience in all types of startups from early stage to post-IPO. Ed Fries. Ed Fries created his first video games for the Atari 800 in the early 1980s. He joined Microsoft in 1986 and spent the next 10 years as one of the early developers of Excel and Word. He left the Office team to pursue his passion for interactive entertainment and created Microsoft Game Studios. Over the next 8 years he grew the team from 50 people to over 1,200, published more than 100 games including more than a dozen million-plus sellers, co-founded the Xbox project, and made Microsoft one of the leaders in the video game business. 9.3 Services providers. Legal, accounts and tax, system auditors. Centrium Advisory. Fact Group. Certicay. Solidified. Conclusion. The Sandbox decentralized platform allows players and creators to own a piece of our gaming metaverse, land, participate in the governance and economy, sand, while creating and enjoying a simple way to benefit from their playing time. In the coming year, our experienced and dedicated team will build a unique way to play in a virtual world where you can play, create, collect, earn, govern, and own anything in the game. The Sandbox. Play. Create. Own. Govern. Earn. Welcome to the Metaverse. Join us now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe my channel.